Blocks is an intuitive and well thought of plugin. Modular in nature, you start with simple building blocks and quickly create wonderful sounds. I think this is one of the most exciting plugins to come out lately, and not only because it's free, but it's such a well thought out and interesting concept that is unlike any other plugin that, at least that I know of. It is modular in nature, hence the name Blocks. Blocks is also, by the way, not related to Blockhead, which is something I reviewed in my previous video, and I wasn't planning to do them one after another, but the universe is a funny beast, so here we go. How does this work then? You are presented with a blank slate when you open it. You see I press keys, but nothing really happens right now. So we have this middle ground where once you hover we have these pluses, and when we press a plus we see the options of blocks that we can add. So if we add a simple oscillator, now you play that oscillator, and the way it works, the columns go in parallel, so they will go at the same time. For instance, if I add another oscillator here, let's say a square, and I pitch it up a fifth. Let me pull them down. Then you play them both at the same time, but the way the signal flow works is from top to bottom for each. So let's say add filter here and filter here. In the previous version, you could have kind of like dragged this filter to affect both. I think this is coming in the future as well, but for now we play with like this. And you see how it is easy it is to design a key like this one, but it doesn't really end here. There are a few other things that I think are really neat. For instance, how the modulation works, which is on the right side. So let's say we want to modulate maybe the filter cutoff, so we can add maybe 2 LFOs, and I love doing 3 LFOs in seconds, so they phase in and out. Not sure why this is called sync when it's actually a free LFO, because it's not synced to the DAW or anything, or maybe I'm not getting why it's called sync, so that's a question for the developer, I guess. Anyway, so the way modulation works is super intuitive. You just drag and drop to the control that you want to modulate. So for instance, cut off here, and then you see it, the modulation come up there. Maybe we want to add another one, make them bipolar, reduce the strength. And you see, super easy, super fast to build something simple like this one. So few other things that you have like theming options, which is always nice. I kind of like the default one the best. What is super cool is you know, you want to save a patch, you're out of name ideas, you just click save and it gives you some random name, Sparky Thunder. Yeah, definitely works for this one. And yeah, maybe I can show you one other patch idea that I usually do. So for hypnotic techno, maybe we start and we want to add those kind of stabby, leady sounds. So maybe we start with the square sound, transpose it 2 octaves down, and add this hot sounds now. So just dry signal. But then we add a filter and we choose a bandpass filter. And we modulate the cutoff to that one. Make it bipolar. So already we are getting somewhere. Another filter, this time a comb one. Maybe we modulate that as well. And now we can add a bit of drive. And then some reverb, which sounds really nice actually. And finally, a delay. Distort that. Add some drums and you have hypnotic techno going on. So yeah, it's a pretty fun plugin. The sound engine, actually all the blocks come from the Vital sound engine, which is amazing. If you know Vital, you know how good it sounds. I actually didn't know that it's open source for it to be used like this, which I think is great. This project is also open source blocks. I've linked into the description the website where you can download it for free. There is also a link in the Discord, and feel free to join. I'm there as well under Void, which is my artist name. Say hi if you have ideas or any feedback, just message in the general chat, and then I will answer when he has time, just knowing that this is a free project and you know, he has to also work other stuff so this can happen. Anyway, this is that's all for the overview. Next we go with the likes and dislikes. There's lots to like with this plugin. So first of all, I think it's wonderful and intuitive UI UX. It's super well thought of. It looks nice, but most importantly, it's very easy to use. So you start from scratch and you build your sound with the blocks that you have. I think it's also very easy to see what's going on with your patch because it's done in that way. And if you don't know synthesis, this is a very good tool to try and learn basic subtractive synthesis. You know, start from an oscillator, try different oscillators, put filters on top of oscillators, play with the cutoff, with the frequency, with the filter modes as well, add another filter, add modulation on top of that, and suddenly you created sounds that you know, didn't exist before. So that's the beauty of sound design. I think the modulation is done pretty well. It's super well thought of, and yeah, and as for dislikes, there is no undo option. So I made a really good patch initially, and I pressed Command Z and it deleted the whole plugin because it just does undo on the DAW level. I didn't expect that, so would be great to have that functionality. And as of now, this version, which was released yesterday or I'm not sure when exactly, is pretty stable, but the previous two versions were super unstable and almost frustrating, but I kind of persevered and made the jams, so they were still kind of workable, but I hope that we get a bit more stable version going forward, even though of course this is free, but you know, if you want to build a community around it, you need a stable working plugin, so my hopes are that this will be the case in the future. So I have a few more kind of wish lists things. Obviously, I would like to see a few more blocks, maybe a granular block, both as an effect and an oscillator. A sampler oscillator would be super interesting to have more modulation options, and also the ability for modulator to modulate the modulation, if you know what I mean. So that opens a whole host of other possibilities. FM kind of things would be great. So one oscillator to be able to affect the other oscillator, you just increase the timbre possibilities of this one. And a few more things which I think are missing is like when you move around and you want to go back to the default one, double click to go there is a great way to do it. And controls are kind of very fast. It would be great to be able to press shift and just to fine kind of control. Option to solo each column would be great, and some keyboard shortcuts are missing, so if I press delete I would expect this block to be deleted, but the way it works now it just goes like this. So yeah, that's it for this one. The last part of the video is improvements, and it's a prototype which I've designed myself, not part of the product, so let's jump into that one. Okay, so this is a prototype. I designed it. I'm a designer, so I wanted to try a few things out myself. Feel free to let me know in the comments what you think of this suggestions. If you have any of yours, do let me know. So the first thing that I thought would be really good way to operate is maybe pressing an enter to show a list of all the blocks that you see, and this way you can kind of browse and maybe even use the search to quickly find what you want. Imagine if the list of blocks grows, this will become even better, so you should be able, when you're in this way, to use the keyboard to choose which block do you want, and then press enter, and then you place it. Then you should be able to move it around with keyboard shortcuts like this as well, back and forth. Maybe when you press shift, you're able to extend it like this or turn it back and then finally place it. So yeah, I think this would be really well workflow improvement and super fast way to use your keyboard and tap, and boom, you've designed something great, obviously in conjunction with using the mouse. And yeah, I think that's a really good way to go about that. Second way that I explored is how maybe a sequencer would work in this plugin. So I just added a new icon here, so if you click on it you get this sequencer thing on the bottom. The way I kind of imagine it is more like an algorithmic one, like the torso T1 in a way, where you choose your scale, maybe a few more controls other than density, randomization, and then you know, when you have like these notes from this scale, and then when you play it, depending on maybe what kind of type and voicing and whatnot, you can quickly play with the patch that you've designed. So yeah, sequencer in this plugin would be great to have, in my opinion. This is just one way of how this could work. And yeah, that's it. In conclusion, I really like this thing. It's free, so it's a no-brainer. Go out, try it. I've linked it into the description. If you wanna join the community, feel free to do so. The link is on the website as well for Discord. If you're a developer, just remember this is open source, so maybe you wanna help. And yeah, just have fun, try this out, have a lovely day, and see you at the next one.